Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and all of the viewers who are joining us from the different devalayas, annalayas, goshalas, gurukuls, paduka mandirs, and satsang centers, as well as each and every one of you who are the celebrated Kailashrians who are in the de facto spiritual embassies, Kailasas, across the world, and those of you who are joining us on the Nayana Diksha, the two-way video conferencing as well. I welcome all of you right now for this extremely auspicious day and program. I understand each and every one of you is sincerely seeking now for something deeply profound in your life, for a fulfillment that fulfills all desires and all yearnings. Each and every one of us might be yearning for something which is underlying inside of us more so than anything else, a deep yearning for love. Whatever it might be, whether we are searching for name and fame in our lives, or we are searching for wealth in our lives, whatever it is always having an undercurrent of love. And we're always looking for that deep fulfillment of our yearning for love. And it's always from the lack of self-love, the lack of love on ourselves, that we go out looking for it on the outside. And today we accept in society many different languages of love, as we might call it. The whether it is the spending time with each other, giving compliments, giving gifts, or even physical touch, we always have some kind of language that we have given for love. However, in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we recognize that love is actually something much more deeper, much more profound. Love is a transcendental, divine emotion and quality. It is something that can literally make you from human to superhuman and from man to divine. That is the power of love. And today, during this Devi Parashakti Akashic reading program, you will literally be able to experience that super conscious experience of love with Devi Parashakti. You will see that you are simply able to express love without even finding it necessary to feel it back or to get love back. You will experience that true unconditional love because sincerely you are fulfilled by the love and compassion of the divine cosmic mother. Devi Parashakti is the divine cosmic mother, the embodiment of the divine feminine consciousness. And she is a source where billions of universes comes in and goes out. And she is the source Shakti, the source power, source energy, which literally makes all of us and is what all of us have come from, in which all of us are even in right now, and as well what all of us will be going back into, merging back into finally. In the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, in this ancient religion, the Vedic rishis and the Vedic scientists of the Hindu civilization researched and developed the inner space and understood that the first and foremost way of relating with life, universe, and others around you starts with the mother. And it starts with even your biological mother. And whether or not today you have, or your mother is alive, or you have a connection with your biological mother, still that relationship is there. Because from inside of the womb, we started relating with her. And from our formative years, even before we have memory, we started relating with our mother. And we always have that idea of mother in society as well, which is strongly associated with our emotions of love and our emotions of deep fulfillment in our lives. And ultimately, if we are complete in our lives, it comes down to this primordial relationship that starts off all relationships in our life. And that is why the Vedic rishis understood that this relationship can be used, can be geared towards the higher consciousness and the higher ambition. So, literally, making you experience super consciousness by simply gearing your relationship with your mother towards divine cosmic mother, who is the representation of the whole cosmos itself. That is the beauty of what our ancient rishis have gifted us and is today revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in this Bhava Samadhi program. And many of you who are coming for the first time, let me explain what is Bhava Samadhi. Actually, in that word Samadhi, if you break it up, Adi means the source, Sama means oneness with the source, and Bhava means emotion or aspect. So put together, Bhava Samadhi is oneness with the source through a certain aspect. So today, during this Bhava Samadhi Darshan program, we will be attaining oneness with the source, with Paramashiva himself through Devi Parashakti. And you will be able to experience the transformation that you have been searching for lifetimes. Now, before we are going into the rest of today's program, which has so many different exciting components, let us now first just be briefly introduced to the very being who has made this available to each and every one of us, and that is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism happened on planet Earth as the incarnation of Paramashiva on the 2nd of January 1978. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is today the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. And Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the today reviving the science of power manifestation as well as the temple-based sciences and yoga even, and much, much more lost sciences of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived 14 ancient indigenous kingdoms, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Kanchi Kailasa Sarvagnya Peetham, or the Tonde Mandalam Adinam. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is today the incumbent emperor of the Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam. As well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, the spiritual head of the Kailashonata Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Peetham, the Madurai Adinam. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the Maha Mandaleshwar, the spiritual head of the Mahanirvani Akada. As well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008 Maha Mandaleshwar of, Acharya Maha Mandaleshwar of the Atal Akada, another very, very ancient apex body of Hinduism. As well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Dharma Mukti Svargapuram Adhinam. And finally, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was recognized, entitled, and coronated as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2015 by a congregation of over 1,000 spiritual global Hindu leaders. And having done and being recognized for all of this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is today also very, very well known for being a prolific commentator on the Brahma Sutras, the Yoga Sutras, the Shiva Sutras, the Ashtavakra Gita, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and many, many more scriptures. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has authored over 300 books in English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, and that was further translated into 50 further languages and distributed across 1 billion people, either digitally or in the physical copy. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also has given discourses and given different sessions and programs, as well as satsangs and darshans and dikshas for more than 20,000 hours, which are all available on Kailasa's Nithyananda YouTube channel, which I'm sure many of you are joining with us right now on. As well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the reviver of over 100 Sarvagnapitas, or Hindu temple monastery complexes. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the reviver of the 108 ancient endangered lineages, such as the Rudras and Rudrakanyas, the Rishis and Rishikas, the Bhairavas and Bhairavis, as well as the Sannyasis. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is internationally recognized by several leads of countries, as well as congressmen and state representatives in the United States, as well as several other countries. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also recognized as the world's foremost leader, as reviving Hinduism. And due to the hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the United Nations as well has recognized several of the reports submitted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and by Kailasa to the United Nations in order to eliminate all kinds of violence against women and children, and as well bring together the world during this COVID-19 pandemic and bring back the Hindu solutions in order to address the COVID-19 pandemic that is ongoing globally and still a crisis at hand in the international sense, with the most powerful nations in the world as well. And we'll be understanding and learning more and more about some of the contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism throughout this segment today. And it's going to be a very exciting and transformative program that you have been waiting for your whole life. And now it's come time for us to go on into the next segment. We have joining with us the Nithyananda Gurukul Balasans, who will be beginning the next segment in today's program, the demonstration of extraordinary Shaktis, the powers of Paramashiva, literally showing you what you are capable of and the possibilities for all living beings on planet Earth. You will be able to see literally a demonstration of a Nithyananda Gurukul Balasans, who was initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, literally reading without the use of her two biological eyes, using only the third eye. If you don't believe it, then you can literally see it in the next segment, and you should stay tuned with us after a very quick break. Yes, we have joining with us Ma Yoga Prana and Ma Kaladara from Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Pija, and they will be guiding each and every one of other viewers for the next segment in today's program.
Yes, thank you, Sarashwatiyananda, for that beautiful introduction to this segment. And now we'll be moving on to the next segment, which is the power manifestation segment, where all of you will be witnessing the extraordinary Shaktis of Paramashiva, the divine Shaktis of Paramashiva being manifested right in front of your eyes. So today you will be witnessing the Balasans of Kailasa of the Nithyananda Gurukul manifesting the powers of third eye and body scanning. The power of third eye is where one awakens the ability to see through the third eye, which is a cosmic browsing center located between the brows. And the power of body scanning is where one awakens the ability to be able to scan illnesses, diseases, medically diagnosed issues, and reveal the root causes and the solution for anybody at any time from anywhere. So you will be witnessing these two extraordinary Shaktis today. And before that, let us enter into a small introduction to this segment where you will be understanding and learning about what are Shaktis and how we awaken these divine Shaktis in us. So in the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate details that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest these 463 plus extraordinary Shaktis. And Paramashiva reveals that Shaktis manifest from the cognition that you are the divine and that you need to manifest the divine. Not from the cognition that you are a man and that you need to manifest the divine, that you need to reach the divine. So there are two ways of manifesting powers, Shaktis and Siddhis. Shaktis are the powers which manifest from the fundamental cognition of that you are the divine and a feeling connection with the Guru and with high integrity with the Guru. Shaktis are the source of enlightenment. Siddhis are powers that manifest from tapas or penance for enlightenment. Siddhis are on the path of enlightenment. Shaktis manifest through ordinary human beings in extraordinary ways, just with initiation from the avatar, and Shaktis are permanent. Siddhis are not permanent and they may divert you from enlightenment. So let us now learn who is the source of all these Shaktis. Who is the ultimate? How do we manifest all these Shaktis? Paramashiva is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality and cause which is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha, all-pervading and changing beyond time, space, form and causality. As the fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest, and Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs the Panchakritya, or the 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, creation, Sthiti, maintenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Prabhava, pulling out of delusion, and Anugraha, liberating against all living entities. And Paramashiva himself has come down in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasamidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, as the 1008th living incarnation and representation of Paramashiva, and the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization nation, the great cosmic bodiless Hindu nation. Ever since the beginning of the civilization, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma has been the cradle of enlightened beings and highly advanced sciences. It was where the science of enlightenment and powers, Shaktis, was lived and taught as a lifestyle, and for the first time in modern day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving these yogic sciences and transmitting it to the world at a record-breaking, never accomplished before speed. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was recognized as an avatar at a very young age and was trained and taught all these sciences by the Guru Parampara, the enlightened gurus. So you can see so many of the enlightened gurus. You can see Jnananandagiri, Srinivasa Swamigal, Yogi Raj Yogananda Puri, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, Pundi Swamigal, Isakki Swamigal, Annamalai Swamigal, Kanchi Karavacharya, Visiri Swamigal, Sri Tiruchi Mahaswami, Anga Pradakshina Annamalai Swamigal, and the 230th Guru Mahasamidhanam of the Tunde Mandala Adinam. You can see Chinnai Swami and Sri Sadhu. So all these gurus, this is the Guru Parampara, the enlightened gurus who have trained and taught Swamiji these initiations and knowledge just so Swamiji can revive all of this to billions of people all across the globe, just so they can manifest the science of power manifestation from the various disciplines of Vedanta, Tantra, Sri Vidya, Yoga, Yogic powers, Mantra Shastra, Siddha Vidya, the science of Aushadha, Advaita, Bhakti Yoga, Paramashiva Jnana, and Paramashiva Jnana. So let us now see how we awaken these divine Shaktis in us. Is it possible to awaken these divine Shaktis in us? Every ultimate truth, Jnana, mapped into your consciousness, Prajnana, manifests as a power and a possibility of every being, Prajnana. So let us now watch a video.
Diksha is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an enlightened being through look, word, or touch.
With one initiation, one touch from Swamiji.
Diksha is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an enlightened being through look, word, or touch. The traditional Vedic book Navaratneshwara states, Sarva samapi dikshanam muktihi phalamakhanditam avirodhat bhavanti eva prasangyastu bhuktayah. The main benefit of all initiations is moksha, enlightenment. As a side effect, health, wealth, leadership, and well-being happen. And in Rudrayamala Tantra, Shiva says, Devi Diksha Vihinasya na siddhihi na cha sadgatihi tasmat sarva prayatnena guruna dikshito bhavet. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, one should get initiated by Guru. What is the science of initiation? Neuroscience has proved that the process of initiation floods the brain with energy. This is the superconscious energy of Kundalini, our own highest inner potential energy. As the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets up a powerful energy loop within the brain, which awakens the latent non-mechanical parts which we have never used before. With increasing levels of coherence, the whole brain comes alive, turning into a superconductor of conscious energies that heal, empower, transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness, visualization, creativity. It also slows the aging process and improves the immune system. Kundalini awakening, healing experience, levitation, teleportation, materialization. Experience the power of initiation through a range of exclusive programs conducted at the ashram. Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, Birdi, Bengaluru. Contact 97422 03311 82774 90091. Visit www.nithyananda
Yes, with that beautiful video which explained what is Diksha and showed us the science of initiation, let us move on to see how the science of power manifestation is authenticated through the four aspects of evidences or pramanas. The first is the Shastra Pramana, the eternal unchangeable truths revealed in the source scriptures. The next is the Apta Pramana, the experiences and results of Aptas or the authorities of Hinduism, the Vedic rishis and scientists who have time tested and verified this extraordinary science. Next is the Atma Pramana, the experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation. And last is the Pratyaksha Pramana, or the empirical evidence from observation or scientific experimentation. So let us now see how the science of power manifestation, where we get all these Shastra Pramanas and everything from. How do we get them? Where do we get them from? From the Vedas, which is a living applied science. Vedas are the ultimate superior authorities for Hindus. Vedas are the pure science where the ultimate truths are explained. Agamas are the scriptures where the applied technology, the applied science is expanded. Vedas and Agamas, Vedagamas, are given the status as they are directly revealed by Paramashiva himself. They are the ultimate, eternal, unchangeable truths, and a reference cited from these Shastras or source scriptures in the Shastra Pramana. So, with this, without any further delay, let us get ready to witness a unique and exciting demonstration of the power of third eye. But just before that, let us move on to the Shastra Pramana, which comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Kapalantarmanonyasa tishtannilitalochanaha kramena manaso dardhyat lakshaye lakshamuttamam. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, Having the eyes closed in succession by the stability of the mind and inner space, through the power of the third eye, one directly sees the ultimate goal Lakshyam by having the vision beyond the sight that reveals any object or place, attaining the space of Paramashiva. The next is the Apta Pramana, where Bhagavan Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye. In the 11th chapter, on the 8th verse of Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna shows his Vishwarupa Darshan, which is completely narrated by Arjuna as he sees it through his third eye. And let us now see how Bhagavan Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye in the 11th chapter, 8th verse of Bhagavad Gita. न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्. Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna, but you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore I grant you the divine third eye. Behold my cosmic opulence. And with that, let us move on to the Atma Pramana, where Swamiji himself shares in his own words how he manifests this extraordinary Shakti.
Inside and outside broke.
Let us hear directly from Swamiji himself.
The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree, 10 direction, below me, everything. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience. I felt that the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. The setting sun, rising moon, the whole Arunachala hill, all the plants, bush, shrubs, trees, everything just became so alive. The idea, something is inside.
Yes. Let us now move on to the Pratyaksha Pramana, the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. The study measures compare the metabolic cell activity of the brain in the conscious and meditative states using the positron emission tomography, the PET. And when doing daily activities, high activity is measured in the brain where the third eye is located. And when in the deep state of samadhi, only the third eye region is active and almost 90% of the rest of the brain are at peace. And without further delay, let us get ready to witness the extraordinary demonstration of the power of third eye being manifested by the Balasins of the Nithyananda Gurukul. I request the slides to stop being shared now. Yes. Along with me, I have an extraordinary power manifester, a Balasint of the Nithyananda Gurukul, Manitya Kaladharananda, who is going to be demonstrating this extraordinary power. She's only 15 years old and she can read with her eyes blindfolded. And if you don't believe that, you're going to be witnessing it right now in front of your eyes. Along with me, I have a medically tested eye band. You can see that in front is a complete opaque sheet, behind is a thick sponge, and that there is a complete strap which can comfortably strap it around Ma Kaladhara's head. Under, there is no gap between the opaque sheet and the sponge. There is no possible way of light entering into the eye band at any cost, even with the eyes open inside. So this is the eye band I'm going to be placing on Ma Kaladhara's eyes. So I'm going to open the icon in front of everyone and place it. Aradhana, are you comfortable? Could you put the strap above my ear? Now are you comfortable? Yes. Yes. So Ma Kaladra is comfortable. You can see how her eyes are completely closed. Look up. You can see there's no gap. Look down. Right. Left. Yes. So there's no possible way of light entering in her eyes. And now I request all of you to go ahead, post your comments on the Kailasas HDH JGM Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page and the Kailasas HDH Nithyananda YouTube page channel, and you will see Ma Kaladara reading your comments out live in front of your eyes today. Request the comments to be projected now. I request all of you to start posting. Ma Kaladara, you can go ahead and start reading. Yes. Yes, Srinivasa has posted, Srinivasa 77 has posted 3 Namaste emoji and Swamji, and again 3 Namaste emoji. Wow, amazing. Continue. Seema Ji has posted Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Wow, amazing. That was so amazing. She was able to read in less than a few seconds and she was able to read it so fluently. Beautiful. I request all of you to continue posting. I request the Facebook comments to be projected now. Yes. I request the scroll. I request the latest comments to be projected. I request the latest comments to be projected. Yes. Ma Kaladra, you can go ahead and start reading. Yes. So the latest comment in Facebook, Kailasas HDH JG and Nithyananda Paramashivam, is from FLORENCETOP, has posted a Namaste emoji, Nithyananda, and a flower, which is light pink outside and in between it is dark pink. And the previous comment is from ELLSAPEPEMOTOS has posted GRAPIDAO and Samji. Wow, amazing. That is so beautiful. How Ma Kalandra was able to read so fluently through her third eye. And it is not, as you can see, there's no wires on her, there's nothing on Ma Kalandra, and she is able to see. As she sees with her eyes open, she is able to see with her eyes closed, just with the eyeband. And it's so amazing. And it's not that only Ma Kalandra, only few initiated disciples or something can manifest, nothing like that. Even you, just with one look and word, one mantra diksha or Nayana Diksha from Swamiji, even all of you can get initiated into this power and can manifest this very Shakti. And it's not going to be 50 years of tapas and then you're going to be manifesting. No. Right after the initiation, right after the live satsanga, the live Parashakti Akashic healing, immediately you are initiated and you will start manifesting this power. So now I'm going to be removing the Albanagma Kaladra. So you can see it's completely the same. There's no change in the IBAN. And that was a beautiful demonstration of the power of third eye. Let us now move on to the next power, which is the power of body scanning. So now we'll be seeing the Shastra Pramanas. So the power of body scanning is where one awakens the ability to manifest and scan illnesses, diseases, medically diagnosed issues, and even reveal the root cause and the solutions for the body problem that you have. So now I'm going to be chanting the Shastra Pramana for this power, which comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshmatarani cha tattvani yani nilayam dhyatva vyajyate para. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constitutive principles of your whole body or of the whole universe simultaneously consist of the essential realities. They are being absorbed in their source cause. By the experience of such stressful awareness, one becomes complete from all the thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Para Devi Adi Shakti, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. Next is the Apta Pramana, the reference of the power of body scanning from the life of a Siddha named Theriyar. Theriyar was one of the prominent disciples of Agastya, and one day a man suffering from a severe headache comes to Agastya for healing, and Agastya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a small type of cherry, a small shrub, sitting in the person's brain. Agastya immediately instructs Theriyar, his disciple, to perform an open head surgery and remove the frog. And remember, this is 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, and the surgery was a complete success, and the person was completely healed and cured of the power of the headache. Thus, the disciple gained the name Theriyar. Next is the Atma Pramana, the accounts from His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, who has also time tested and authenticated this science. Swamiji beautifully shares, only when I had a multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore the medical checkups related to that. At that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in different organs of mine, and it was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used diagnostic methods instead of medical facilities to study the body condition due to the poison. And through the power of body scanning, I found out what the problems and imbalances had happened and where the balance had to be done. I used allopathy as a second opinion to verify my findings. And you can see the Saksha Pramana of how so many disciples, initiated disciples, the participants, were able to manifest this very extraordinary Shakti just with a small initiation from Swamiji. So let us now enter into the power of body scanning. I request all of you to go ahead, post your requests, comments, anything you want, any request for body scanning in the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel and the Kailasa's SPH JGM Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. Go ahead and post your requests and comments, and we'll be back with the Balasins and the Nithyananda Yogis who are going to be manifesting this extraordinary Shakti and demonstrating this power to you after a short break. Yes. And now I'm back with the Balasins of the Nithyananda Gurukul, Maniti Brahmayogananda and Ma Soni, who are going to be demonstrating this extraordinary Shakti of the power of body scanning to all of you. So now Ma Soni and Ma Brahmayoga are going to be scanning the participants or anybody who has requested for a body scanning in the Kailasas HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel and the HDH Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. I request the YouTube comments to be projected. Mr. Venkatesh Ananda has posted. Could you scan my husband, Massimo Matthews? Please, thank you. Yes, ma'am, Venkatesh Ananda, we will surely be scanning your husband. But could you please get his consent, as it is our integrity to get the permission of the person before doing a body scanning to them. Please do get the permission and consent, and definitely we'll be doing a body scanning for him. I request the Facebook comments to be projected. Yes, anybody who wants a body scanning can request for a body scanning in the Kailasas SPH JGM Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page and the Kailasas SPH Nithyananda YouTube channel. Okay, so Maniti Venkateshananda has posted, yes, he's with me and he wants. Yes, ma, surely we'll be doing a body scanning for your husband. So, ma Brahmayanga, you can go ahead and do the body scanning for Massimo Ayya. Anybody else who wants a body scanning can request. So yes, all of us will now be chanting the Mahavakya 11 times, which is the Mahavakya is the direct passcode which raises us to a higher frequency and connects us to Paramashiva. So let's now chant the Mahavakya 11 times. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Yes, so Manitya Venkatesha. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of comments on Facebook also. If anyone would like a body scanning, please go ahead and post your request. Sony and Ma Brahmayoga, everyone is eagerly waiting to do the body scanning for all of you. Yes, Ma Brahmayoga, you can go ahead and share what you saw.
Yes, Sumanati Venkateshananda, I did the body scanning for your husband Massimo Aya. So Paramashiva revealed to me that on his right knee is hurting. Like he's not able to move it the moment, like whenever he moves it, it hurts a lot for him. And also Paramashiva revealed that he's having muscle cramps in his stomach. And the reason as to why he's having both of this is, first thing, he's not being active throughout the day. He's sitting only in one place. Like Parameshwar is revealing that most of the time he's doing his office work, and because of that he's sitting only in one place, and he has to start moving around. He has to go out for at least 1 hour to 1.5 hours, and he has to go out and walk. And also he has to start doing the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, which is the Nithyananda Yoga 108 asana sequence in the morning, and for 1 hour. And also that the moment he's sitting on the chair the whole day, and the moment he starts sitting on the floor, he should start sitting on the floor. And if he starts sitting on the floor, then all his muscle cramps in his stomach area will heal, and also his knee pain will heal, and he'll feel much more lighter and active throughout the day if he just starts sitting on the floor.
Okay, that was a beautiful scanning for Manati Venkateshananda's husband. Ma Venkateshananda, I request you to share how your husband felt and whether he was able to relate with the scanning or no, and to share how he can also share how he felt. Just go ahead and ask him and do post a comment in the Kailasas HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. Maheshaya has posted, Om Nithyananda Paramashivam, Nithyanandama, please scan my body and why my body weight is not increasing. Yes, Aya, Sony is doing the body scanning for you. And Manati Venkateshananda, Paramashiva actually also revealed one more thing for your husband, that he has a lot of toxins in his lungs. And I don't know if he's a smoker, but I was able to see a lot of toxins, and his lungs are slowly becoming more weaker. So what he has to do every day, he has to put tulsi and turmeric and he has to do steaming. With tulsi and turmeric, he has to do the steaming, and his lungs will be fine now. So I request you to get back. Okay. Yes, so now we'll be moving on to Facebook comments and seeing if anybody has posted anything. Yes, and Ma Florence Stubbs has posted. Nice to be alive, to have a chance to see have the chance and to see the realization of Swamiji's work. Yes, Ma, that is so amazing because it is actually a big blessing to be able to see what all Swamiji is doing. And the science which you're seeing now, the science of power manifestation, is just a small aspect of what Kailasa has given to the world. There are so many more. Even the pandemic, which is affecting the whole world right now, the COVID pandemic. So Kailasa has contributed so much to help the whole humanity to face this COVID pandemic by giving so many. Swamiji has opened up Adi Kailasa and has invited anyone and everyone who wants to come to the Adi Kailasa for the COVID quarantine, for the multi-layer quarantine, can come to Adi Kailasa and protect themselves and save themselves from this pandemic. So the power manifestation which you're seeing right now is only a small. Stay tuned for this whole program, and you can see all the contributions that Swamiji has done, and what all Swamiji has contributed to, what all Kailasa has contributed to, and what we are going to be doing. And so you can see so many of the contributions. What you're seeing now is just a very small thing. If you stay tuned, you will be seeing much more of what Swamiji has contributed to Kailasa. Yes. Masoni, you can go ahead and share what you saw for Maheshaya.
Nithyananda Maheshaya, I did the body scanning for you, and I Parameshwara revealed that because you want to increase your weight, we are eating lot of junk food, yeah, and unwanted stuff which your body doesn't need, and it's making more and more fat in your body, and it's going and making toxins in your body, yeah. So yeah, Paramashiva revealed that first stop eating that food and eat only more and more veggies, and Parashakti will reveal one more thing, that you don't need to gain any weight. Yeah, your body weight is perfectly.
Yes, a beautiful body scanning. Maheshaya, I request you to get back in the comment section whether you heard or not, and just follow Paramashiva's solution, whatever Paramashiva revealed, and Paramashiva will completely heal you. I request the Facebook comments to be projected. Yes. Okay. Aditya Bhaskar has posted, Nithyanandam, can I please get a body scanning? Sure, Aya. You can get a body scanning from Manaki Brahmayogananda.
Yes, so Aditya Bhaskaraya, Paramashiva revealed to me that you don't really have any major problem in your body. It's just that you have a lot of mucus in your body, and the solution for that is you should follow the Rama Nirahara Samyama for the next 1 week, and just completely be only on fruits and vegetables, and of course you can drink water, but mainly avoid dairy products, and also just be on fruits and vegetables for the next week, and the mucus will automatically start healing in your body. And also Paramashiva revealed that you need to increase immune system, and the solution for that is every day in the morning take bath with cold water. Stop using warm water, just take a bath with cold water, and start doing Guru Puja every day. Do the Pad Puja without miss every day. If you follow these two things, in 1 month's time, your immune system will become really strong. But after that, also, please continue this, don't stop it, and you'll really get a strong immune system.
Yes, thank you so much. That was a beautiful scanning of Brahma Yoga. Aditya, I request you to get back in the comment section whether you were able to relate with the scan, and please get back in the comment section. And yes, with this, let us now conclude the power manifestation segment. We thank all of you, Ma Florence, Aditya, Ma'am Venkateshananda, Maheshaya. I thank all of you for joining us. Maheshaya has posted, okay, thank you, Ma. Yes, thank you for acknowledging, Aya. I thank all of you for joining us in this power manifestation segment. If any of you were not able to get the body scanning due to this time or anything, you can definitely come back tomorrow at 2 a.m. IST and 4 p.m. IST, and you can get the body scanning done by the Balasans and the Nithyananda Yogis. So with this, we thank all of you for joining us. Please stay tuned for the upcoming segments where we will be learning about who is Devi Parashakti, what are the Akashic readings, who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and much, much more. So with this, we thank all of you. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Yes. Nithyanandam, everyone. So now we'll be moving to the next segment where we will be learning about divine feminine consciousness, about who is Devi Parashakti. So I will be chanting the first verse from the Lalita Sahasranamam, which describes the beauty of Devi Parashakti. This is the Dhyana Shloka of the Lalita Sahasranamam. Sindhuraruna vigraham trinayana manikya spurate taranayaka shekharam smitamukhi mapina vakshoruham Vanibhyam alipurna ratna chashakam raktotpalam bhibratim Saumyam Ratnagatastharakthacharanam Dhyayet Paramambika. And this verse says, the Divine Mother is to be meditated upon as shining in vermilion red body, with triple eyes, sporting a crown of rubies, studded with a crescent moon, a face all smiles, a splendid bust, one hand holding a jewel cup, brimming with mead, and the other twirling a red lotus. And the next, we have another Dhyana Shloka, which also describes the beauty of Devi Parashakti. Arunam karunam tarangatakshim dritapashankushapushpabanachapam animadibhiravritam ayukaihi rahamityeva vibhavaye bhavani. And this verse says, I meditate on the great Empress. She is red in color, and her eyes are full of compassion. She holds the nose, the gourd, the bow, and the flowery arrow in her hands. She is surrounded on all sides by the powers such as Anima for rays, and she is the self within me. And Devi Parashakti is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. Parashakti is the cosmic mother. It is her cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes manifest, come out, and it is where the Big Bang and black holes go on and on. Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source power, source energy, from which all of us came, which all of us are in even now, and which all of us are going to merge into. And out of extreme love and compassion, Parashakti herself is manifesting the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to all of our prayers, giving boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, future, delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. And in the words of Devi Parashakti herself, she beautifully says, raising as Omkara, expressing as Vedas and Agamas, blossomed as Shrimkara, filled as Parashodasi, living in 40 triangles, the Kailasha Swamini who is in Kailasha, Shri Purachintamani, Parashodasi, sitting as part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nithyananda I took Nijavatara here, to give good boons to everyone, to bestow all goodness, Hiranya Garbha Swarupini, Brahmanda Yoni, Shami, Chandramauli, Rapala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Savitri, Navayavana, Samrajya Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nithyananda, I am blessing. I came here as Nijavatara with great compassion. I am blessing. Listen, people, to do good to all of you, I took the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nijavatara. And again, in the words of Devi Parashakti herself, raising in Omkara, blossoming as Shiva, Shiva manifesting as source of existence, powers of existence, expression of existence, from the oneness of Om, blossoming into two as Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as three Shaktis, Icha, Kriya, and Jnana, growing as four Vedas, expanding as 5 Panchabhutas, beyond 6 chakras, filled as Gotras of 7 Rishis, expanding as 8 directions, existing as 9 Grahas, blossoming as 10 Indriyas, being as 11 Rudras, creating all the worlds, bringing life to tell and make truth blossom and to do good. Parashodasi Meenakshi, in the form of Nithyananda, I came to bless every one of you. And now let's see how we can receive Devi Parashakti when she comes for the darshan. So literally you are seeing Paramashiva and Parashakti at that moment when she is on your screen. So you can receive her very traditionally in a traditional way. You can keep 2 betel leaves, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and 1 coin in front of the screen as you watch Devi Parashakti. And for those of you who don't know, in the Hindu tradition, the coin is actually considered the traditional dakshina. It can be the lowest value in India. It can be just 1 paise, and in the US, it can even be just a cent. Swamiji says, I'm not trying to monetize. Keep even 1 cent, it is okay. So for 100 days, if you have darshan, it will add up to $1. In India, even 1 paisa is okay. And you can offer this to Devi Parashakti. And once the darshan is over, you can you can eat the banana, the beet leaf, and betel nut, taking it as prasadam immediately. And the coins which you collect, you can send it to the LA temple for the further process and further procedures. And this betel leaf and betel nut, many of you may think it looks too small and may think how it will benefit you. It may look too small, but in a few days you will actually realize how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. Really, Devi Parashakti is there. So you will not take the Devi Darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous unconscious mentality and lifestyle and remind you to raise yourself to the powerful cognitions, and it will break your unconscious behavior. And now all of you can also see how you can set up the tambulam. You can arrange the 2 betel leaves, the betel nuts, the bananas, and the coins. You can arrange all of this in a plate and keep it in front of the screen. These are just the 4 basic items which are used, but you can also keep additional items if you would like a coconut, red bangles, kumkum, and some fragrant flowers, fresh flowers. But the 4 basic items is the betel leaf, betel nut, banana, and coin. So you can keep the betel nuts on top of the betel leaf in the plate, and then you can keep the bananas and the coins on the side. So everything you can arrange it in the plate, however you feel like, and keep it in the screen as you receive Devi Parashakti. And with this, we come to the conclusion of this segment where we have learned who is Devi Parashakti and how we can receive her when she comes for us during the darshan. And now we will be moving on to the further segments where we will be learning about what Devi Parashakti has revealed for humanity and how it has actually become a reality. And
what I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being Paramashivoham. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashiva will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home, without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a
Welcome back to viewers. We will be entering where we will understand the revelations of Parashakti for humanity during this pralaya. So let us understand what Devi has revealed on the sacred secrets of Hindu birth. Let us watch this video.
நன்றாய் கேட்டுக்கொள். உன் கேள்விக்கு உன்மூலமாய் உலகெங்கும் இருக்கும் இந்துக்கள் எல்லோர்க்கும் அளிக்கின்றேன் உத்திரம். வாழ்ந்தால் உங்கள் வாழ்க்கை பத்திரம். நன்றாய் கேளுங்கள். பிறப்பின் ரகசியத்தை பிறப்பிலா பெருமை உடைய பரமேஸ்வரி சொல்லுகின்றேன் கேளுங்கள். அண்டஜம், யோனிஜம், ஜலஜம், பீஜம் எனும் 4 விதமான பிறவிகளில் 84,000 யோனிகளில் பிறக்கும் பிறப்புகளிலேயே பெருமை வாய்ந்ததும் உத்தமமானதும் மனித பிறவி. அந்த மனித பிறவியிலும் பலமுறை பிறந்து உழன்று அரசியல், பொருளாதாரம், சுகபோகம், தர்மம், அர்த்தம், காமம் எனும் ஆசைகள், துக்கங்கள், அச்சங்கள் அனைத்திலும் அழன்று உழன்று இனி வேண்டாம் இப்பிறவி, வேண்டுவது மோட்சமே என்று முடிவெடுத்தோர்க்கு மட்டுமே ஹிந்து பெற்றோர்க்கு பிறந்திடும் சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம யோனிஜம். மனித பிறவி உத்தமம், சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம மனித பிறவி உத்தமோத்தமம். இந்த உத்தமோத்தம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோருக்கும் ஜீவன் முக்த விஞ்ஞானத்தையும் சனாதன தர்மத்தையும் காக்கின்ற கடமையும் உண்டு. அதனால் வருகின்ற நன்மையெல்லாம் அனுபவிக்கும் உரிமையும் உண்டு. இந்த கடமையை செய்வோம் என்று சத்தியம் செய்ததனால்தான் அந்த உரிமை அளிக்கப்பட்டது. பூமிக்கு வந்தபின் மனம் மயங்கி மதிமயங்கி சனாதன தர்மம் காக்க மறந்ததனால் மாயை அவர்கள் உயிரை பறிக்கின்றாள். நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உயிரை கொடுத்தாலும் தர்மத்தை காப்போம் என்று உறுதி எடுத்தவர்க்கே சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம யோனிஜம் அளிக்கின்றேன் யான். உடல் பெற்ற பிறகு ஊழிப் பெருவலியால் ஆசை அச்சங்களை உதறவிடாது, உதறியும் விடாது சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்தோரை உயிர் வாழத் தகுதியில்லாதவர் பட்டியலில் உடனடியாய் மாயை சேர்க்கின்றாள். அதனால் ராட்சசர்களும் அசுரர்களும் தானாகவே இவர்கள் உயிரை எடுக்கின்றார். நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உயிரை கொடுத்தாலும் தர்மம் காப்போம் என்று நிற்பவர்க்கு நிலைத்திடும் வீரஸ்வர்க்கமும் கைலாச பதவியும், எக்காரணம் கொண்டும் தர்மம் காக்க மறந்த உத்தமோத்தம ஜனனமான சனாதன ஹிந்து ஜனனம் பெற்ற மக்களுக்கு கதி. சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம மனித ஜனனம் உத்தமோத்தம மனித ஜனனம். உங்கள் உரிமை உலகில் அதிகம், உங்களுக்கு கடமையும் உலகில் பெரிது. தர்மம் காத்தலே கடமை, தர்மம் காக்காதார்க்கு உயிர் வாழும் உரிமை இல்லை. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உத்தமோத்தம பிறவியான சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோரும் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்கள் வாழ்வின் முதற்கடமை தர்மம் காத்தல். தர்மம் காக்க தர்மம் உங்களை காக்கும். சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்திட்டால் வாழும் உரிமையை நீங்கள் இழந்து விடுகின்றீர்கள். அதற்கு மேல் வாழ்ந்தென்ன அழிந்தென்ன? பூமிக்கு பாரம் குறையட்டும் என்று அசுரர்களும் ராட்சதர்களும் உங்களை உண்டு தீர்க்கின்றார்கள். அதையும் மாயை கண்டு சும்மாவிருப்பாள். பிரபஞ்ச ரகசியத்தை, பிறவியின் ரகசியத்தை உலகிற்கெல்லாம் உத்தரமாய்ச் சொல்லிவிட்டேன். புரிந்து வாழ்வில் நடந்து உயிரை பத்திரமாய் பார்த்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். அன்னை சொல்லும் அருள் சத்தியம் இது. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம். நன்றாய் கேட்டுக்கொள்.
Let us understand Devi Parashakti. Listen, Andajam, Nijam, Ajam, Ajam. Like this, birth, 84 lakh, all these births, the greatest birth of them all is the human birth. Even in that human birth, being born and toiled many times, after getting burnt and toiled in politics, in finance, in luxuries, in dharma, artha, kama. And those who decide of not wanting this birth, wanting only moksha, only those will have Hindu dharma yonijam, the Sanatana Hindu dharma yonijam of being born to Hindu parents. Human birth is uttamam, the best. Sanatana Hindu dharma human birth is uttamottamam, the best of the best. Everyone who took this uttamottama birth has the responsibility of protecting the science of living enlightenment and Sanatana Dharma. And also, they have the right of experiencing its benefits. This right was given to them because of their commitment given by them to do this responsibility. After coming to Goloka, by getting mentally deluded and forgetting the dharma of protecting Sanatana Dharma, Maya, she is taking away all their souls. Understand carefully, I'm giving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam only for those who give the commitment of protecting Sanatana Dharma, even by giving their life. After getting the body, because of painful delusion, not dropping fear and greed, and for those who forgot to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Maya, she will immediately add them all to the list of those who are not worthy of living. Therefore, Rakshasas, Asuras, are automatically taking away their life. Understand properly, for those who stand that even by giving their life, they will protect Dharma, they will permanently have Veera Swarga and Kailasa Padavi. For any reason, people who forgot to protect Dharma, having the Uttamottama birth of Sanatana Hindu Dharma birth, there is no other way for them. Sanatana Hindu Dharma human birth is Uttamottama human birth. Your rights in this world are immense. Also, your responsibility in this world is large. Protecting Dharma is responsibility. Those who do not protect Dharma, they do not have the right to live. Understand properly, all those who took the Uttamottama birth, which is Sanatana Hindu Dharma birth, all of you understand. The first responsibility of your life is protecting Dharma. If you protect Dharma, Dharma will protect you. If you forget to protect the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, you lose the right of living. After that, what bothers whether you live or get destroyed? Asuras, Rakshasas will eat you so that the burden on earth is reduced. Seeing that, Maya, she will keep quiet. So, as revealed by Devi, let us understand what is the responsibility for Hindus. Why do we need a Hindu nation? So Hinduism represents one of the most ancient yet most progressive indigenous spiritual traditions with an open framework network model, which that stands for global peace, vegetarianism, nonviolence, yoga, worship of nature, temple-based living, manifesting spiritual powers, and the inherent divinity of every being. And the Hindu nations were ecosystems where more and more enlightened beings could be produced so that enlightened civilization could be kept alive and its great gifts shared with the world. So let us look at the reference for Hindu nations from our Hindu scriptures. So the Hindu nation ruled by Bhagavan Rama, the Rama Rajya, was described in the Valmiki Ramayana as there were no widows to lament, nor were there any danger from wild animals, nor any fear born of diseases. The world was bereft of thieves and robberies. No one felt worthless, nor did old people perform obsequies concerning youngsters. Every creature felt pleased. Everyone was intent on virtue, turning their eyes towards Rama alone. Creatures did not kill one another. And the description continues. People survived for thousands of years with thousands of their progeny, all free of illness and grief. The trees were bearing flowers and fruits regularly without any injury by pests and insects. The clouds were raining in time, and the wind was delightful to the touch. Every caste was performing their own duties, satisfied with their own work and bereft of any greed. People were intent on virtue and lived without telling lies. All people were endowed with excellent characteristics. All were engaged in virtue. So you can just see the Hindu nation ruled by Rama was prosperous. Everyone there was peaceful and happy. And even in the Hastinapur kingdom ruled by Yudhishthira, it was described in the Srimad Mahabharata. Devas granted rain to fulfill all wants. The world was free of all diseases. There was no hunger or thirst anywhere. There was no mental suffering. Those without livelihood were given livelihood. There was abundance all around. There was no worldly worries for anyone, and there was no cause for fear either. Happiness on earth was in fact even greater than in the heavens. So you can see, as described in the Srimad Mahabharata, how joyful, how peaceful, how prosperous even the Hastinapur kingdom was. And these were just two representations of how Hindu kingdoms existed in our ancient times. And Hindu nations have contributed so much to the world in nearly every field, including enlightenment science, health, medicine, art, science, technology, aviation, dance and music, clothes and jewelry, social systems, judicial systems, political systems, and legal systems. And let us now understand exactly how our Hindu nations were destroyed. So the phase one of the destruction of the Hindu civilization were the Islamic invasion, and this was between 800 and 1700 AD. And this was the physical destruction of the Hindu civilization. And the description from Will Durant, a famous historian, is described as the Mohammedan conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in history. The Islamic historians and scholars have recorded with great glee and pride the slaughters of Hindus, forced conversions, abduction of Hindu women and children to slave markets, and the destruction of temples carried out by warriors of Islam during 800 AD to 1700 AD. Millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by sword, and during this period, millions more were raped and murdered and dismembered. You can just see how savage this conquest of the Hindu nation was by the Islamic invaders. And the description from the Islamic law prescribes for Hindus in Khilji's kingdom was described as Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must, with greatest humility, offer gold. If a Mohammedan desires to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should open it wide for that purpose. God created Hindus to be slaves for Mohammedans. The Prophet hath ordained that if the Hindus do not accept Islam, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death, and their property confiscated. To keep the Hindus in abasement is especially a religious duty because they are the most inveterate enemies of the Prophet. Again, you can see how much of hatred and barbaric attitude the Islamic invaders had towards the Hindu population, the native population of the of India at that time. And over the conquest of the Islamic invaders, over 200 million Hindus were slaughtered by the Muslim invaders. Over 100,000 temples were destroyed, and over 1 million deities and scriptures were destroyed. And the description of this conquest is: the conquering armies burnt villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flagged them with thongs of rawhide, carried a moving prison with them, and converted prisoners into a twist perk. And the phase 2 of the destruction of the Hindu civilization was the British occupation between 1700 AD and between 1947 AD, which was the independence of India. And this time was the economic and psychological destruction of the Hindu civilization. And you can very clearly see how you can see the photos from the Bengal famine during the British invasion, which was the engineer famine. And Will Durant describes that, I have seen a great people starving to death before my eyes, and I'm convinced that this exhaustion and starvation are due not, as their beneficiaries claim, to the overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sordid and criminal exploitation of one nation by another in all recorded history. And he is describing the forced famine, the forced poverty upon the Hindu population in India at the time. And the phase 2 of the British occupation was, during that time, the British Empire used all possible means to destroy Hindus in civil and cultural institutions in order to delegitimize and demoralize the indigenous people of India so that it would become slaves in their own homeland. And this included discriminatory laws to instill feelings of inferiority, engineer famines to starve natives into submission, they annexed Hindu kingdoms to undermine the native rule. They mistranslated Hindu scriptures to instill anti-Hindu narratives, and they destroyed indigenous Gurukul education system. They destroyed the local industries and forced importation of British goods. And finally, they banned the production and owning of firearms by Hindus. And during the British occupation, $45 trillion was looted over the course of 200 years. 45 million Hindus died due to artificial famines and imposed poverty by British rule, and over 680 native kingdoms were usurped by the British Raj. And Sashi Tharoor of the Indian Parliament has described that the British came to one of the richest countries of the world over the course of 200 years of exploitation, looting, and destruction, reduced it to a poster child of third world poverty. And phase 3 was secular India, which was ruled by brown faces, British attitudes and policies towards Hindus. And Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, has described what a disgusting, savage people we are. Politics, progress, socialism, communism, science, where are they before this black religious savagery? India can never be a Hindu republic. And the first law minister and principal architect of the Indian Constitution described, if Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is a menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. It is incompatible with democracy. The Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost. So you can see how much of the secular India contained these anti-Hindu sentiments, how much of prejudice and discrimination Hindus face in the face of the leaders itself of the nation, of the freed nation of India. So much of anti-Hindu sentiments and uh, negative attitudes towards Hindus was placed from the beginning in this secular India. And during this time, the modern Indian legal system and academia and media all systematically undermined, suppressed, and delegitimized Hindu institutions and culture. And this included the India's constitution established government control and taxation over Hindu temples, schools, while all other religious institutions were exempt from this interference. This includes all other religions except for Hinduism. And Articles 26 to 30 of India's constitution discriminated against Hindus by giving special rights and benefits to non-Hindus. This included government benefits and scholarships. And Hindu kingdoms and self-governance was completely abolished, and the anti-superstition law was passed to criminalize Hindu practices. And mainstream Indian academia described Hindus as sexist, racist, backward, and oppressive. And these were just a few examples of how the complete ecosystem, the environment of secular India was completely anti-Hindu, was against Hinduism, despite describing themselves as a secular nation. It was rather an anti-Hindu sentiment that carried forward this new rule, this new era of India. And during this time, the media narratives were used to stereotype and demoralize Hindus. And Bollywood and other mainstream media outlets consistently portrayed Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, dishonest, corrupt, sex fiends, and in a manner similar to the British imperial propaganda. And media narratives are used to shape human consciousness and further political agenda. Racist British colonial stereotypes portraying Hindus as superstitious, backwards, dishonest, and corrupt are perpetuated by their brown British successors in modern India, completely unabated. And you can see some of the examples of how Hindus and Hindu gods were portrayed in Indian media. You can see how they're portrayed as sex fiends, as jokesters, as and completely disrespectfully towards the Hindu gods and goddesses. And the revival of the Hindu nation. So let us understand why we need to revive Hindu nation and why we need Kailasa. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism described that during the time of Mahabharata, Hindus had 56 deshas, 200 states, 1,700 samsthanas, 10,000 sampradayas. In all 56, we Hindus are persecuted. Now we have lost all 56. The last one to fall was Nepal. I am the collective voice of all persecuted Hindus. I will revive and rebuild a Hindu nation, built on the Vedagamic principles as a refuge for all practicing and aspiring Hindus, as a safe haven for all persecuted Hindus. So this is the vision described by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for our Hindu nation. So let us understand, what is Kailasa? This revival of Kailasa, the Hindu nation, is for reviving this whole life of enlightened civilization and all the great things it has to offer to the world, bringing legitimacy to all the Hindu offerings that Sanatana Hindu Dharma has, and sharing it with the whole world is the purpose of this Kailasa, the Hindu nation. And Kailasa is the revival of the cosmic constitution. Kailasa is the model nation of how enlightened civilization should be living and administered. Politics, judiciary, education, economy, everything will be revived as Paramashiva revealed in the Vedagama, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma scripture. And being one of the most persecuted civilizations, Hinduism is on the brink of extinction, such that the next generation may know only about Hinduism through our history textbook. So what can we do to stand up for Hinduism and all that it has offered to the world? Today, Hinduism is a political orphan. The preservation and restoration of Hinduism's spiritual and cultural heritage is impossible without a national identity. So what can we do to save Hinduism? Let us reclaim our Hindu identity. Let us understand how we should do this. If you are healthy, wealthy, rich, successful, peaceful, happy, respectable, have a stable family life, have the best mental health, and you're a Hindu, understand that Hinduism is responsible. Hindu identity is responsible. Hindu scriptures are responsible. Hinduism is responsible for our successful lives as Hindus. It is the Hindu scriptures which gave us the best mental setup. All of the best things that we Hindus have, the Hindu scriptures are responsible for this. Hindus are the richest and most successful ethnic community in the world. Hindu scriptures, Hindu lifestyle, our enlightened masters are responsible for this. Hindu thought currents are responsible for this. And in this article in the Hindustan Times, you can see that Hindus are the most educated religious group in the US as per the Pew report. And this just shows how much Hinduism has contributed to each and every one of our lives. So let us reclaim our Hindu identity. It is not just the anti-Hindu element being active. It is the responsible Hindus being inactive, which is responsible for this whole destruction of Hinduism. Let us not take the responsibility for Hinduism and let all the Hindus all over the world reclaim our Hindu identity. So let us understand what is the responsibility of Hindus as they be revealed. It is our responsibility as Hindus to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So let's understand how we can do this. It is the responsibility of Hindus to revive this enlightened civilization again and again, bringing the gifts of enlightened civilization to humanity. The revival of the enlightened civilization, the Kailasa, the Hindu nation is the survival need of humanity. Again, Devi has revealed that it is our responsibility to protect Hindu Dharma and to share its gifts with the world. So this is an invitation to all of the Hindus out there, the born Hindus, the practicing Hindus, these sympathetic Hindus, those who are curious towards Hinduism, those who want to explore and enjoy Hinduism. Please come and be a part of this revival by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can sign up today to become an e-citizen at kailasa.org and you can reap all of the benefits of Hinduism. You can understand, learn, and become a part of this Hindu ecosystem to revive Hinduism. You can understand, learn about all of our Hindu scriptures, learn about our Hindu practices, and share it with the world. So you can connect with us also on all of our various social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and even WhatsApp. So let us listen to why we need a Hindu nation, why we need Kailasa in the words of the Supreme Concord of Hinduism himself.
Contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music, in every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world, empowering, enlightening, enriching the world, contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode. Whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity, Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive in any one corner of the world. Just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist peacefully. I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute, and I will continue to contribute. As long as I am allowed to live, I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live peacefully, I can keep all these scriptures there and go on sharing with the world, revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than one cup of curd rice every day. That's all. A cup of curd rice per day over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world. Understand? I am only interested in contributing. If we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university. That's all. Kailasa is all about university to decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers are healing in every level. Life is all about contribution, contribution, contribution.
And as the Supreme Consciousness,
Contribute.
life is all about contribution, and that is exactly what the Hindu nations have done and will do for the world. So, with this, we will be concluding this segment of the Devi Akashic reading and move on into the next segment where we will understand some of the revelations made by Devi Parash. Sorry, we will understand some of the offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti and how we can connect with Devi and show our gratitude for her after receiving so many blessings from Devi. So let us end this segment and move into the next segment. We will be right back after a very quick break.
What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognitions, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharma.
Nithyanandam, welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining with us from across the world for this Devi Parashakti Akashic reading program. And we've come to this segment in this program where we are enjoying the various offerings that you can make to Devi Parashakti. And this segment is going to be filled with scriptural references, learning more about the context from Sanatana Hindu Dharma, about Devi Parashakti herself, and chanting some of the very well-known Devi Suktams and Devi Stotrams, and the different songs that are in tribute to Devi Parashakti that have been composed by some of the most esteemed enlightened masters of the modern day, as well as even before that to the Vedic rishis themselves from the Puranas. And today it's going to be a very informative, very enriching segment on the offerings to Devi Parashakti, about how offerings are a part of our daily lifestyle and how you can take this platform of Kailasa and the Nithyananda Paramashiva Devalaya as your personal temple wherever you are, and serving you digitally wherever you are. And as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, until you manifest your reality as you want it, we will manifest it for you through these offerings and through the various rituals and sevas of the Nithyananda Paramashiva Devalaya. And it is such a beautiful thing to be able to share with you all every single day the offerings, and give this extremely beautiful opportunity to experience the next level of your relationship with the divine. And ultimately, that is what this is about. That is the ultimate beautiful context and significance of these offerings that you can make today. And we will be understanding the significance of these offerings, the significance of various different levels, including why we are offering in gold, why we are offering different types of jewelry or different ornate items. Why are these each beautiful, and why are these used in Hinduism? Why are these used in worship? And what is the auspiciousness about the whole thing? All of it, believe it or not, is within the Hindu scriptures, and it is a part of the context that was given for Sanatana Hindu Dharma. That is the beauty of the whole thing. And in this segment, we will be understanding that for each and every one of you. And I request that each and every one of you stay tuned until the end of the segment so that you understand also the different offerings that you can make, and as well how to make those payments and how to exactly get into the logistics, the steps. If you are ready and some of these offerings pique your interest and you feel, yes, I want to do this right now, then you can stay tuned and ensure that you go through the right steps in order to make this a quick and seamless process as well. So now let us begin by understanding the context of the significance of an offering. In the Hindu tradition, if you are born Hindu, you know this, and if you are practicing Hindu, you must know this, that in the Hindu tradition, we always offer to God whatever opportunity we get. And that is daily, we do the daily puja, but also whatever occasion comes our way, if it is our birthdays, our marriage anniversaries, or even if we are starting something new for the first time. For example, if we're starting a new venture, a new business, or even we're inaugurating a new business place or a new home, or if we are even getting a new car, everything begins with offering to the divine and offering our gratitude foremost and requesting their protection, guidance, and their presence in our lives as we go on further. We never take for granted the presence of God in our lives, and we owe all the good things that happen in our lives to the divine, to their beautiful presence in their lives, and for them allowing such auspicious happenings to take place in our life. And for this reason, we take the opportunity at any chance we get to offer our gratitude and for building and deepening our relationship with the divine. And that is a very important part of the Hindu tradition. If we see even the offerings that are done in the traditional temples, whether it is in Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple in Madurai, or in the Tiruvannamalai Arunachaleshwara temple in Tiruvannamalai, or in any of the temples, the offerings that you can do to the main deity will always bring you closer, will always give you a deep sense of fulfillment, and will ensure that the blessings of the deity are on you at all times. So with this, let us now move into the next slide, where we will be chanting the Dhyana Shloka for Devi Manonmani. Let us now invoke her presence amongst us in this segment, as we are describing Devi in her very, very beautiful form, and we are literally going to be describing the very different parts, all of her jewelry, every single part of Devi Parashakti. We're literally going to be going over. Let us first pay our gratitude, our respect to Devi Parashakti for being literally who she is in her most beautiful form as Manonmani, the very form of Devi Parashakti, which is seated on the lap of Paramashiva. Yes, let us now chant. Indu nivaveda karavahni nayanam syat pankajavara japaksha sarayuktam angahimabhujana vishitra vasanam syat tungam kutojjala manonmani swarupam. Yes. And the translation describes Devi Parashakti having a moon-like face, holding the Vedas on hand, fire in eyes, with lotus flower gracing and blessing hands, and one hand with the Japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments and wonderful clothes and shining bright crown. And her name is Manonmani. And let me now chant the next Dhyana Shloka for Devi Parashakti. ध्याये देवीं त्रिनेत्रां शशिनिभवदनां वेदहस्तां ददानां सव्ये पद्मं वरदमपरे चाभयं चक्षमालां दिव्यैराभरणैर्विभूषिततनुं ब्रह्मादिभिः पूजितां देवीमेव मनोन्मनीं प्रतिदिनं कामत्रदात्रीं शुभाम्. And the translation says, I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes, glowing like a full moon and holding the Vedas, the lotus in gracing and blessing in gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments, and she is worshipped by Brahma and other many gods, and showers auspicious boons for all actions every day. Now, having thus invoked and invited the presence of Devi Parashakti, remembered her beautiful form, let us now enter into the significance of the divine element gold. In these offerings, you will be seeing that many of them are offerings in gold, literally. And they are very ornate, beautiful ornaments that we'll be offering at the divine lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. And there is a very profound significance of gold, actually. And in our day and age, we all know that gold is often used to place ownership in a place ownership on a certain deity, or to place value on a certain relationship. For example, on Mother's Day, Father's Day, on people's birthdays, on our marriage anniversaries, we often give them gifts in gold, and that's how we place a value in the relationship. We like to give gifts or necklaces and jewelry to our wives or to our significant others, or we give golden trophies. And there's so many different golden appreciation, ways of appreciation and recognition in society that literally mark the status in society. And gold is often the highest place, the highest status in society. Gold medal is often the highest medal in any kind of competition. So this shows that we place so much of value in gold. And however, in our day and age, we have lost the actual significance of the element gold, and we've kind of started to get very superficial about our understanding of gold. It is not simply an economic value, and we cannot place value in relationships by the economic value. Of course, we're not trying to put a price tag on a relationship, We know that there's something more there, but we still actually lost that significance in our lives. Can we go back to the previous slide? In fact, in the Atharva Veda, in one of the oldest scriptures in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the Atharva Veda is one of the Chatur Veda. And in this, it says that it has a verse on the property, the divine properties of gold. And I'll just be chanting the English translation of this verse. It says, triply born by birth is this gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni, and one fell away from the Soma when it was hurt. One they call the seed of virtuous and powerful Apaha, the watery molecules. Let that triple gold be for your long life. So there's two things here. One is the gold being associated with virtuousness and powerfulness, and also gold being associated with long life. And in today in popular culture, we often see that gold is associated with long life, and it has a direct relation to alchemy, to immortality, and that is why people sought after it for so long. And the truth is that in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we actually mastered these sciences of immortality and of alchemy, and we had the sciences available, and that's why many people have sought after it and even sought to destroy it. And that is ultimately why the divine element gold lost its divine qualities. I mean, not that it lost its divine qualities, but the significance is not known, and we have reduced how we see gold in our day and age, and we've reduced it to simply an economic value, which it is not. In fact, gold is a divine element. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which is recognized for how it is purifying anything that it touches, and it has extremely potent qualities of being able to spiritually heal and spiritually enlighten you. So it has such beautiful significance. And that is why even gold is present in all the scriptures, the Agamas, the Vedas, the Shrutis, the Smritis, the Itihasas and Puranas. And in all the Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly present that gold is the most auspicious and purest metal, which even purifies the very being. Excuse me. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold and exchanged in gold, and ritual fees were offered in gold bricks. And when one was to be saved from the life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows, and kingdoms was built with huge doors of gold. The streets would have huge columns and huge archways of gold, and horses and cows were dressed in gold. And of course, the horses, the cows, the elephants, all the animals lived in coexistence and were even worshipped as embodiments of the divine as well. Yes, let's go on to the next slide. And the Hindu civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. In fact, the Indus River was called the Hiranyamaya, the river of gold in the Rig Veda, and the river Saraswati was also called the Hiranyavartani in the Atharva Veda. And gold is a supreme element, as we discussed, for offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. And in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we recognize this divine quality of gold, and that is why we distributed it for the whole civilization. That's why the whole civilization was able to enjoy gold, and literally cities of gold were built. Temples were constructed and paved in gold. Deities were made in gold and decked and adorned in gold. And all of this because we know that it preserves the enlightenment energy forever. And it literally will last thousands and thousands of years. Yes, so now we have established the significance of the element gold. And you'll be seeing some of the offerings that we have in gold next. And the first offering that we will be understanding today is the Hundi offering. And it's a really simple offering that you can make, and it's a general donation that you can simply make. And we Hindus know the significance. When we go to the temple, we always offer a few coins or $1 or how much ever we want into the plate of the pujari or into the hundi. And in order to complete this process, this sacred sentiment, we have this hundi available through the e-hundi And you can donate how much ever you want, and simply for paying your gratitude to Devi Parashakti for gracing us with her darshan. And Devi Parashakti literally accepts all devotion, and she is described in the Lalita Sahasranamam as who is fond of true devotion, who is described as Bhakti Priya, and literally the one who accepts any kind of devotion, and she doesn't ask anything in return. I'll just be chanting that verse now from the Lalita Sahasranamam. Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Gamya, Bhakti Vashya Bhayapaha, Shambhavi Sharadaradhya, Sharvani Sharmadayini. In this Lalita Sahasranama, which is actually a very sacred text, the different names and descriptions of Lalita of Devi Parashakti, and it is sourced from the Puranas, and Vedic rishis had literally chanted this, and from then it became one of the most primary scriptural references and scriptural authorities for the descriptions of Devi. So here, this verse means Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. And she can be won over through true devotion, and she removes all fear. This is such a beautiful verse. And you'll be able to understand how the true devotion simply works, and she'll just accept anything. And it is basically just a form of pure gratitude that we are offering. And this Ihundi offering is available for you just to express that and show your gratitude towards Devi Parashakti. The next slide, please. And she is also the remover of all fears. If there's any fears in the minds of the devotee, Devi is sure to remove that fear. And it is stated that Devi likes to be worshipped in autumn here. It is meant that autumn is of our life. It's not the seasonal autumn that we are used to every year, but also the autumn when our thoughts become more and more introspective. We start questioning our lives, the purpose of our lives, and we start to become focused more and more inward. This is the time that many of us are going through right now, especially during the COVID pandemic, and especially during so many strenuous times, especially when so many of you are having so much of stress, of suffering in your life, maybe due to the loss of your loved ones, or maybe due to the impending fear of so much of burden or so much of disease. There is so much going on in our lives independently for each and every one of us. And it is now the time that you can worship Devi Parashakti. And this program is available for you every single day to remind yourself of Devi Parashakti's revelations. Every single day we have new revelations, we have new things that we always bring out. And Devi herself has made herself available and giving the live Bhava Samadhi Darshan to each and every one of you, and making herself available during this time of crisis, global crisis, literally. And that is when the need for Devi worship becomes stronger. So you can utilize this Evendi offering just to express your gratitude. And Devi Parashakti simply accepts any kind of donation, any kind of devotion that you are offering in this way as well. Yes. The next offering is the Sankalpa chanting. This is also a very that you can make for $1. And this offering is the chanting of the Sankalpa. And the chanting of the Sankalpa is a very spiritual process. It is a prayer that is offered at the feet of Devi Parashakti. And the Sankalpa is actually a very elaborate prayer. It has very many lines, and in the description of the avatar as well as Devi Parashakti herself. And it also has prayers embedded within its lines for things such as experiencing the eternal celebration, the eternal auspiciousness, and blessing us with the different Shaktis as well as great help, going beyond fear and lust and greed. All of this is the things that we are praying for in the Sankalpa mantra. Not only that, the creation of positive energy inside of us through the sacred chants is not something that should be taken for granted. The offering of the Sankalpa is literally that. And Not only that, just the sacred vibrations that are going on within anyone, and when the prayer is offered on your behalf, the energy is aligned inside of you so that your conscious resolution can come through. And you may have any kind of conscious resolution. You might feel, you might want to make it happen in your reality, certain wealth or a certain relationship to heal, or whatever it is. That conscious resolution is what this prayer is going towards and what it will ultimately fulfill. So offering the sankalpa, chanting this conscious resolution, blesses the person who is offering with all the fruition of their desires and wishes. Sorry for the technical glitch. The next offering is this Sahasranama Swarna Kasu. This is an ode and tribute to where Devi Parashakti is recognized as Lalita, and is recognized in the Lalita Sahasranamam in verse 731 as Namaparayana Prita, meaning she who likes the repetition of her various names. This again goes back to the chanting of the Sahasranamam, which is a very esteemed, powerful sadhana in spiritual practice in the Hindu customs, in order to achieve the higher energies in your life. And sadhana means spiritual practice. And it really is a powerful way that is actually recognized by so many different people, by researchers, that it creates so much of positive energy inside of you when we are chanting. And that the Sanskrit mantras have so much of association with the positive energies and the positive vibrations. And when you're chanting the names of Devi Parashakti in the Lalita Sahasranamam, it is literally creating that positive energy inside of us. And the significance actually is that the whenever we are cherishing in the inner space, whatever we are cherishing in the inner space is always what is manifested into reality. And we always manifest we always literally manifest whatever is going on inside of us. If we are cherishing suffering and we are continuously worried, we'll see that that is exactly what happens. That's exactly what plays out. If we cherish positive thought currents in the same way, we experience that in our reality. So this offering of the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti is a special and unique archana offered to the Mahameru of Devi Parashakti. You can offer a gold coin inscribed with each and every one of these 1008 names and receive the blessings to have all of the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, literally be blessed and be expressing all the divine qualities of Devi Parashakti. Yes. The next offering is the Mukta Anguti, the finger ring with a pearl. And now I'll just be chanting the verse from the Meenakshi Pancharatnam, where it describes Meenakshi, the incarnation of Devi Parashakti, as Muktaharana, adorned with pearls. Muktaharana Satkiritaruchiram Purnendu Vatra Prabham Shinjannu Purikinkini Manidaram Padma Prabhabasuram Sarvavita Palapradam Girisutam Vani Rama Sevitam Meenakshim Pranatosmi Santatamaham Karunyavaram Nidim. And the English translation says, I bow down to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has garlands of pearls and face shining like the full moon, who wears anklets that are studded with gemstones and has small bells, who is shining like the splendor of a lotus and who grants all the wishes, the daughter of the mountain, who is worshipped by goddess Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to the goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. And Meenakshi here is described as the ocean of compassion. And not only that, I think there's a technical glitch. We can go back to the slide. Yeah. And not only that, Meenakshi Devi Meenakshi also is associated with pearls. And literally, pearls actually symbolize compassion, and they're also very much associated with Devi Meenakshi. And Devi Meenakshi is always described to be adorned and decked in pearls, as you can see in this verse as well. And Devi Meenakshi also has such a beautiful way of relating with the whole world and such a beautiful way of manifesting literally Kailasa on planet Earth. Devi Meenakshi was the sovereign leader of all the 56 deshas, all the 56 kingdoms. And when she came down on planet Earth, she united all of the kingdoms, she conquered all the 8 directions, and what is very much known and praised to be called the Big Vijayam, the conquering of all of the directions. And it was basically a conquest out of compassion. That is what was why Devi Meenakshi is described as the ocean of compassion, because she literally spread compassion across all of the 56 deshas. She brought all of the different tribes that in that point in human history, all this 56 deshas, all of the different tribes of humans were all in this stage of human history. And she brought it all under one rule. And for the first time on planet Earth itself, there was a huge civilization, a huge country living under one rule. And that was the power of Devi Meenakshi. She literally brought a breakthrough to the whole lifestyle of human beings. Excuse me. And she had ensured that the entire civilization was thriving. Literally every human being was taken care of. That was the compassion of Devi Meenakshi. With this offering, you can literally see how you will be blessed with the compassion of Devi Meenakshi in your life. Yes, we can go on to the next offering now. The next offering is the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the golden lotus. And in the Kamic Agama, it's described that all the kalasas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with new cloth, and they should be adorned with the lotus flower made of gold. The next slide, please. And actually, there are so many different references for the lotus in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. All the different references are always describing the worship of Paramashiva and how lotus is the best thing that you can offer. And whether it is the lotus pericarp, the lotus petals, the lotus flower, or the lotus stem, everything is has different uses in the worship of Paramashiva. And that is because lotus is considered as a divine flower, because of its divine quality of elegance, resilience, and radiance. Despite having been in any kind of background or any kind of waters, the lotus still grows and it has that elegance that it still radiates. And in fact, the Shakti of Paramashiva is called as the lotus. The base of the Paramashiva Linga, as you can see in the photograph, is also a lotus. And the disciple of Paramashiva is also considered to be as a lotus which is about to bloom. So you can offer this lotus in any size which you wish and be blessed with the state, face, and powers of Devi Parashakti to face any adverse situation in your life. The next offering is the Swarna Metti, the gold toe ring. And nowadays the toe ring has a lot of use in popular culture and many of us are starting to use it. But actually the origin, the source is from Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and it's actually from this verse that we have here. And we, even in until today, in the Hindu customs, in the Hindu marriage, the feet of the bride is adorned with the toe ring. That is because the toenails of Devi Parashakti, literally every woman is invoked as Devi Parashakti and worshipped as Devi Parashakti during her marriage. And she is literally adorned with this toe ring. And she wears that toe ring after that as a symbol of her, of being married, and also as a symbol of being an embodiment of Devi Parashakti. So She is invoked as Devi Parashakti in the custom, and that is because Devi Parashakti's own toenails are decorated with the toe ring. That is because of the significance behind her toenails. And this is why I'll now be chanting this verse. Nakhadiditi samcharanamajjana tamo guna padasvaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha. And here is described that you whose brightness from toenails destroys the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees, you who prostrate at your feet, and you whose brightness from your 2 feet overpowers that of the lotus flower. So once again, the toenails, it's not just her feet, it's even the grace of her toenails that are powerful enough to remove all the darkness and ignorance from your life. And you can be adorning the feet of Devi Parashakti with his toenail and offer this. And you can be in the constant gratitude for receiving her blessings, even in the most difficult parts of your life. The next offering is the offering of the Swarna Mangtika. And Devi Parashakti is described as Shuddha Tarabi Varshini. And that means she who makes the nectar flow in all of our nerves from the Sahasrara and who gives a very pleasant experience of the ultimate. And the Mangtika actually represents the nectar which is overflowing from the Sahasrara Chakra, which is fully open. And the Mangtika, if you don't know, is a jewelry that goes from the center of the forehead to the center of the head to the forehead. And sometimes it also goes across the forehead, it goes across the whole head, and it literally represents the Sahasrara Chakra, which is overflowing, and the nectar, which is outpouring from it. And that beautiful significance represents actually the open Sahasrara Chakra. And it's so open, so much in bloom that it literally the nectar is pouring out. And that is the significance of the gold jewelry, that it literally signifies, it has such powerful spiritual significance as well, not just a offering that we're making out of our love, but so much of spiritual context behind it as well. The next slide, please. So you can offer this Mangtika as a way to offer to Devi Parashakti and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude in the space of complete completion. The next offering is the Pratyakshapada Puja. And once again, we are remembering the verse from the Saundarya Lahari, which I just chanted. And it states that the nails that have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of celestial beings who prostrate before Devi are capable enough to remove all darkness. And Tamoguna is considered as darkness. And in this statement, Tamas is indicative of ignorance. And in the minds of devotees, by constantly prostrating before Devi, the ignorance is removed and they attain knowledge, they attain the ultimate knowledge. And the Pratyakshapada Puja is a very precious offering, and especially we are offering to the Nijavatara, the Guru himself. And Guru Padukas has so many different scriptural references, whether it is in the Guru Gita, Guru Paduka Stotram, or in so many different speeches, discourses, satsangs, and the eloquent satsangs and teachings of so many different incarnations of Paramashiva, including Adi Shankaracharya himself, who composed the Guru Paduka Stotram, and as well Sri Satya Sai Baba, who had sung Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam in his very first, upon the realization of his incarnationhood in the 1940s. So in so many different ways, the Guru Paduka is so much, so revered in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and we can go on and on describing. Of course, we can go on for 3 chapters, 900 verses about the significance of Guru Padukas. But in this offering is really a once in a lifetime's offering, and many Kailashiyans offer this once or twice a year, and they make sure that they do that just out of their pure gratitude towards Guru happening in their life, and just literally offering their gratitude at the feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So you can also do this and offer, and make sure that you are offering this Pratyaksha Pada Puja. And the next offering we have is the Vastra Seva. The Vastra Seva is the offering of the sacred cloth or the sacred adornment as well. This also will bring so much of auspiciousness and protection of the Guru in your life. So now this brings us to a conclusion of the array of different offerings that we have for each and every one of you. And now you can see a summary table on the next slide of the different offerings. You can see we have 9 different offerings that are available right now. The Ihundi offering, the Sankalpa chanting, the Devi Sahasranama Kastal, the Mukta Anguti, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the Swarna Metti, the Swarna Mantika, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, and the Vastra Seva. And you can see that there is very minimal amounts, and there's also some substantial amounts that are all available, and various different levels as well. We know that many of you might not be comfortable in making offerings that are more substantial, and you might need to plan further for the offerings like the Pratyaksha Pada Puja or any of these more substantial offerings. But there's still various different levels of the offerings, so none of you need to feel that they're somehow insufficient for being able to make an offering today. It is nothing. It is a beautiful way that you can express your gratitude, and there's so many different levels that you can offer. If not the highest level, then you can offer the lowest and just express your gratitude to Devi Parashakti in some way and form. And if any of these offerings pique your interest as well, you can, but you might not be ready immediately to make an offering, the offering that you'd like to make, because so many of these offerings have so much of beautiful significance. As we described, we learned all the scriptural references in the spiritual context of these offerings. If you're not ready yet and you feel you need more information or you need more time, then you can fill out the Bhava Samadhi Darshan registration form. We can go on to the next slide. And in this slide, we'll be able to see the link for the form. Yes. So as you can see that at tiny.cc/Bhava Samadhi, you can fill out this form if you are interested in making an offering. It might not be now, you might not have the money or the resources in order to make these offerings, but you can start manifesting today, and that is all it takes to simply make these offerings happen within the short time, within absolutely short time, and you can manifest these offerings as well, and you can literally break that impossibility that you might feel in making these offerings. So if you're interested in making these offerings, or you need help in manifesting, or if you'd like more details, you can visit tiny.cc/Bhava Samadhi and fill out the registration form. And if you are in the next stage, and if you are ready to make a payment today, that's awesome, that's great. You can go to tiny.cc/Devi-offerings and make your payment right now. And as you can see, it'll be a very quick process, just a 3-click process, where you select in the drop-down menu the offering that you want to do, and then you add that to your cart. Then you can go to review your cart, you press proceed to checkout, and then you enter your payment details, and then you are set to go and you have made your payment. And after the payment, we request all of the Yajamans, anyone who is making the offering, to ensure that you are filling out the Sankalpa 2021 form at tiny.cc/Sankalpa 2021. This form is extremely important because it ensures that the Pujacharya has your names, your nakshatra, your gotra as well, so that it can be chanted during the puja. And if you do not know your nakshatra, your gotra, these details that are required during the puja or that are often chanted, it is okay. You can just skip those parts in the form, and you can move on. And make sure, though, to submit the form with your names and the names of your family members or the people on behalf of whom you are offering this puja, so that it is chanted during the puja and all the blessings and auspiciousness is bestowed on you. So these are the very quick steps for making a payment immediately. And as you can see, it's a very, very simple process. And not only that, we also have another opportunity, which is offering a donation through the e-hundi offering or the YouTube super chat. And on the YouTube super chat, you will be able to see that you should be a member in order to make a donation. So you can join as a member of the YouTube channel, Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see the options for the super chat or super sticker options, and then you can go ahead and make your payment through YouTube, and you can pay through credit card, debit card, or PayPal. And these options are there for you, and it's a very easy way for you to make a donation right now and just offer your gratitude to Devi Parashakti. And now with this, we are coming to a conclusion of this segment of today's program. In the next segment, we will be joined by the representatives from the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham, who are going to be joining with us, and they will be describing to us the multi-layer quarantine campus that is being administrated right now in Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham and 13 other Adinams in India, and also how the United Nations has recognized this the COVID-19 and multilateralism report submitted by Kailasa to the independent expert on the COVID-19 and multilateralism. And in this way, literally Kailasa has literally made a breakthrough in leading nations across the world in reviving the Hindu solutions in order to bring all the nations to make an international treaty for addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. So with this, we'll now be entering into the next segment. We have Ma Dayame Swami, who is a representative from the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham, who will be joining with us now. Thank you, Ma. Welcome, and thank you for joining with us and describing now to the viewers about the Kailasa COVID Care Center in Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham.
Thank you, Ma Sadashivapriya. Welcome, everyone. Nithyanandam. In this segment, now we are going to see the Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine opportunity for India during the COVID-19 as a practical solution resulting in health, joy, and bliss. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's blessings. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yes. Now, the report on these Kailasa solutions is recognized by the United Nations. The report also, we are going to present in detail the report published in the United Nations on Kailasa's COVID care protection centers, a multi-layered quarantine opportunity, and other Hindu Kailasa solutions. And multilateralism. All this we are going to present in this segment. So on the first, we are going to see how Devi Parashakti revealed consistently on the effect of the pandemic on the mental health of the world across everyone, and stated the world reports across the world, the newspapers, the reports confirming the same, the data confirming the same, and how the Kailasa is providing the solutions and implemented successfully in these COVID care centers, and it is now recognized by the United Nations. So let's see those reports. The Devi revealed on 5th June 2021, not only people dying in crores, the financial and mental retardedness you will also see minds. Minds getting collapsed. Freedom from all this suffering is the life of living enlightenment. First, prevent yourself from this deadly corona. Oh, people, do the job of saving your life as first priority. Listen properly, people. The only way to protect yourself from this overflowing cosmic pralaya and from the demonic people who search for destruction for themselves and for others because of pralaya, go to Adi Kailasa, getting shelter at the feet of Paramashiva. Save yourself from corona and death, economic crisis, and mental collapse that is formed because of corona. Save yourself and move towards living enlightenment. Move towards Paramashiva, Parampurul, doing yoga and tapas, doing seva to all the devotees of Paramashiva and live a good life. Just for that, I have opened the doors of Adi Kailasa and for all those in the universe, not only human beings, as even Siddhas, Jnanis, and Yogis have come and are doing penance in Adi Kailasa. For everyone who comes, goodness, prosperity, jnanam, and yogam will overflow. Do not have fear, bliss is there. Do not have worry, I will protect with goodness. Just for that, I have opened the doors of Adi Kailasa. For all those in the universe, not only human beings, as even Siddhas, Jnanis, and Yogis have come and are doing penance in Adi Kailasa. For everyone who come, goodness, prosperity, jnanam, and yogam will overflow. Do not have fear, bliss is there. Do not have worry, I will protect with goodness. Happiness is there, enlightenment is there. Do not have fear, bliss is there. I am solving sufferings. I am the Samayapurattu Kanattal who comes and helps at the right time. These are the revelations about the mental health Devi revealed on 5th June 2021. And media article at the different dates following that, confirming the same on one of these article on global news. Psychiatric symptoms like depression, anxiety exhibited by the COVID-19 patients, which is published on 6th June 2021. According to a new study, neurological symptoms like depression, anxiety are also showing to be common in those who have contracted COVID-19, even in more mild cases. And what Devi revealed about the mental health on 5th June and the media article confirming the same on 8th June 2021. According to the article on BMC Psychology, the impact of COVID-19 on the mental health of US college students. The results indicate that the students closer to graduating faced increases in anxiety, which is 60.8%, feeling of loneliness, which is 54.1%, and depression, which is 59.8%. Many reported worries for the health of a loved one, most impacted their mental health status of 20.0%, and the need to take care of family most affected current and future plans, which is 31.8%. Almost one half of students took exercising and other remedies. The rates of anxiety and depression among the college students continue to soar, researchers say. Researchers at the Dartmouth College, who have tracked the moods and behaviors of about 200 college students for 4 years, say stress levels are at their highest. The report by the Lauren Lumpkin on 10th June 2021. The Dartmouth College researchers began tracking 217 students when they entered the school as freshmen in 2017 in the hopes of understanding how they behave. They have seen students' stress levels rise and fall, usually in tandem with midterm and final exams. But since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, rates of depression and anxiety have soared and have showed no signs of coming down. said the Andrew Campbell, a researcher and computer science professor. The psychology today on coronavirus, the trauma, the psychological trauma and PTSD event, how this pandemic will result in trauma responses. Much has been said about the mental health crisis that is occurring related to the coronavirus pandemic. Much of this information has focused on the all consuming anxiety, panic, and fear that many are experiencing. While this is important and needs to be at the forefront of discussions, something that has not been discussed in the psychologically traumatic nature of what our nation and our world is experiencing. The increased prevalence of the post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is expected to emerge as a primary factor driving the growth of the global post traumatic stress disorder therapeutics market over the period of assessment. What it used to be in 2019 and which increased to 11.91% on by expected to rise by 2027. According to the CNN, there is a high prevalence of mental distress in countries across the globe due to the coronavirus pandemic, especially among healthcare workers and children. According to the United Nations and the World Health Organization, the impact of the pandemic on the people mental health is already extremely concerning. United Nations says the World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom says in the news release recently. It is now crystal clear that mental health needs must be treated as a core element of our response to and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, Tedros added in the CNN published article. Now, how to address these across the world, what they revealed and across the world reports, and the World Health Organization declared that it is affecting majority of the people of the mental related stress and anxiety and related issues. See, one of the majorly they will reveal is yoga. Yoga greatly improves mental, spiritual, and physical health. People who practice yoga experience less anxiety, less depression, and fewer symptoms of post traumatic stress disorder. Yoga also improves well being, including increased gratitude, relatedness, acceptance, centeredness, empowerment, self esteem, and compassion, self awareness, and hope. Yoga can help us to manage stress and self regulate, an important tool in the current time. We are all equipped with the innate coping strategies for responding to stress. But sometimes our stress response can become out of balance. We are living in a world that regularly activates our sympathetic response, that is, our body's way of responding to stress, sometimes called fight or flight. This is balanced by our parasympathetic response, that is the way the body helps us to rest and relax. Yoga can help bring our parasympathetic response back online and allow us to find balance. Activating our parasympathetic response brings us into a more restful space and allows us to find calmness, connection, and compassion. The deep mindful breathing of yoga and meditation stimulates the vagus nerve, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system and supports self regulation and stress management. Yoga can be a valuable tool for self care, especially in challenging times. Yoga is now being used as an empirically based treatment, often in combination with other interventions with benefits for both physical and mental health. Many clinicians are recommending yoga as it may help support the effectiveness of traditional treatment approaches. The Psychology Today published that in an article, when we, psychologytoday.com, when we actively choose a tool of self care, we better equip ourselves to survive and seek resilience in different circumstances. While it is but one tool, yoga offers the potential for connection and well being, even in these challenging times. Spirituality benefits mental health. Research shows that individuals have better mental health if they belong to a particular community or have religious beliefs. Spirituality can help people in many ways. First and foremost, spirituality or religion can help people find meaning in their life, which is instrumental in improving one's mental health. Spirituality can perhaps help you connect with your divine self. In addition to endowing meaning to your life, it has the potential to improve mental, physical, emotional well being as well. It has been the source of relief and comfort from various challenging issues for thousands of years. The article on the www.livinginwellbeing.org, the psychological health benefits of spiritual practices. Now, revelations to the world by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam on 22nd May 2021. Paramashiva is very clear. Focus on making your body alive, life alive. Mind is obsessive compulsive reaction. It is nothing but a bunch of unconscious reactions. Do not try to sympathize with the mind. Make your body and life alive. That is the only priority for all of you. I am talking to everyone who has a little love and sympathy for me. For all of you, take this as a guru walk. Make your body consciously strong. Gym will build muscles, make you look very nice in the outside, but only yoga and Ayurvedic lifestyles will make your body conscious. Just see all over the world, all the gym bodies are just dropping dead. Only yoga will make your internal organs strong and your ability to manifest consciousness strong. Let me give you the solution from the Paramashiva to protect yourself from this whole pralaya. Not just from corona. The amount of depression, mental suffering, the way the whole world is suffering, the kind of poverty happening, people losing their job, income, having insecurity, comforts being lost, so much. Just make your life extremely strong. 3 years back, I said, keep yourself alive for next 3 years. I have enough evidence that 3 years back, I trained the whole Kailasa. First, the devotees in their own homes. Second, the Kailasavasian inside the Sangha, physically, mentally, psychologically, or consciously for quarantine lifestyle. For being active without getting mentally broken by being in one place, doing intense yoga, making the body and internal organs strong, taking bay leaf, neem juice, tulasi, and haritaki, triphala churna, Ayurvedic lifestyle, a lifestyle of less food and more energy, more activism. I only told it is for an important reason. Please wake up. Quarantine yourself, build your body. Do not bother about your business or any other profit or anything else. This year, if you are alive, that is the greatest profit. Now, this efforts of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reviving the Kailasas and the ecosystems and the results successfully implemented with zero contract of corona pandemic of these multi-layered Kailasas de facto embassies, spiritual ecosystems have successfully been implemented, and a report has been published by the United Nations, and United Nations recognizes this Kailasa's report on the COVID-19 and multilateralism. You can see the screenshot here projected from the Kailasas, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's Facebook page. You can see, go ahead and click on this link and read the whole article by yourself. And we're also going to present this article here. You can see some more screenshot of this article, which is published, a detailed report. The report published on the https://www.ohchr.org, the Adi Shaivat Minority Tradition.pdf. The globalization of disease has led the world to be only as resilient as the least resilient country and person, especially of highly contagious COVID-19, which has spread the scale and severity not seen since Spanish flu. The variants of the virus, such as B.1.617.2 Delta, the Delta Plus, and Epsilon Gamma, continue to threaten even those vaccinated. Secondary diseases such as black fungus are targeting COVID patients and killing almost 1 in 2 persons in such cases. Human life is more precious and important than all economic principles or systems in totality, because all these concepts are legitimate only because of their utility value, which is to fundamentally make human life better. At least until this ongoing crisis ends, all economic policies related to money, banking, fixing prices of commodities, etc., need to be revised to make sure no human being suffers from hunger or the absence of required medical care. For this purpose, Kailasa has presented a detailed report on effective solution for COVID-19 through multilateralism that was published by the United Nations. The earlier reports published by the United Nations are the reports on the rights of indigenous women and girls. And the second reports were published on femicide. Now, this is the third report UN recognizes, and Kailasa's report on the COVID-19 and multilateralism. Now, let us see the report on detailed report of this COVID-19 and multilateralism. A report by the Adi Shaivat Minority Tradition, which is ASMT, Hindu Community Kailas Union. The report submitted in the month of June 2021. Introduction, which was published a few days ago. The introduction is the first key obstacles. First, globalization of disease has led the world to be only as resilient as the least resilient country and persons, especially for highly contagious COVID-19, which has spread with scale and severity not seen since Spanish flu. The variants of the virus, such as the B.1.617.2 Delta, Delta Plus, Epsilon, Gamma, continue to threaten even those vaccinated. Secondary diseases such as black fungus are targeting COVID patients and killing almost 1 in 2 persons in such cases. Second, distorted policy decisions and conflicting principles can lead to polarizations amongst the nations and within, leading to various extremes such as the hoarding of vaccines in some places, the wastage of vaccines in others, and an unaddressed shortage of vaccines globally. Third, the pandemic has exposed the fragility of the global system. The disruption in the supply chain is especially worrisome for essential food supplies, which disproportionately affects the already much vulnerable and even more. Fourth, the lockdowns have brought the global economy into crisis, bringing recessions and worsening unemployment rates. Frequent lockdowns and the ongoing threats of famine, especially in countries where employment is predominantly informal, or exacerbating worries that starvation may cause more suffering than the virus itself. Far from the SDG2, zero hunger, the number is now predicted to come close to 1 billion. You can see the supporting articles of various articles projected here, and more articles as published as a supporting documentation for this. Now, the solutions. First solution, revised economic policies. Human life is more precious and important than all economic principles or systems in totality, because all these concepts are legitimate only because of their utility value, which is to fundamentally make human life better. At least until this ongoing crisis ends, all economic policies related to money, banking, fixing prices of commodities, etc., need to be revised to make sure no human being suffers from hunger or the absence of required medical care. Next, as per the Hindu principles, the world, including the economy, evolves through the 5 phases. First, creation or growth. Second, sustenance or stagnation. Third, recession or revitalization. Fourth, reinvention. Fifth, breakthrough. As per Hinduism, conventional economic growth is observed when best practices are applied diligently. However, during times of crisis lead us to the fourth and fifth phases, wherein the need to reinvent and deliver a breakthrough becomes both a survival need and an opportunity to surpass any means and measures of conventional economic growth. Next, according to the Keynesians, increased public expenditure during the Great Depression of 1929 improved the economy. However, the government never completely gave up trying to balance the budget, which resulted in it never spending enough to bring the economy out of recession until the Second World War. Similarly, the current crisis requires governments to temporarily discard trying to balance economic interests that compromise quarantine safety and put human life at risk, and rather in reinvent their economic strategies and multilateral coordination for benefiting during the subsequent breakthrough period after the end of the crisis. Next is Hindu multilateralism. There is an immense inequality in the capacities of governments, organizations, and people on two grounds. First, the health response. Second, economic recovery. Surviving the highly contagious COVID-19, where the world is only as resilient as the least resilient country and person, requires governments and organizations and people to collectively address the crisis. From 3200 BCE, the 56 nations in Asia had multilateral treaties based on the Hindu principle Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, the entire world is my family. This from Maha Upanishad, chapter 6, verse 71 to 73. You can see the supporting articles of this presentation here. Second, next is provide sustainable community livings with multi-layered quarantine. That is, home or self-quarantine is not a viable solution for a vast majority of people for either health safety or economic reasons. In Assam, the home quarantine has been reported to be primary reason for a large number of deaths. In some places, governments have moved people out of home quarantine to COVID care centers. Other issues linked with quarantine, especially in small houses, are mental health problems, such as an increase in suicidal ideation, especially amongst the younger population. This requires friendly quarantine setups which are self-sustained and sufficient in terms of food stock and supplies, recreation, employment, education, etc. In India, state governments have attended to provide free and um, paid solutions which face various challenges related to hygiene, exorbitant pricing. Some facilities have seen challenges related to requests for private accommodation. Experimental townships such as Auroville have demonstrated a fair amount of success in creating a friendly, safe, and compliant quarantine facility. However, solutions such as Auroville are not open to the public. For 2 decades, the leader of the ASMT Hindu community, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, had been creating townships like Auroville across more than 100 cities in several countries. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has urged the citizens worldwide, especially from severely affected, the regions which severely affected by the pandemic, to protect themselves as the topmost priority and avail these free quarantine facilities that the community has created, especially as home quarantine has failed for many and is known to be a primary reason for a large number of deaths in many scenarios. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has emphasized the need and urged the government, the worldwide, to provide food, safety, medical care, shelter, and all survival needs to all human beings under their care, with absolute multi-layer quarantine until the coronavirus is eliminated from planet Earth, including all different strains of the virus. Now you can see the supporting articles which are projected here. Next is educate citizens on individual pandemic management. Unlike previous pandemics, the current era provides active, real-time visual information about the fatalities. And underreporting of this data may give false hope and make people reckless. Exaggerations in reporting can also make people reckless as they may feel eventual death due to a coronavirus is inevitable. So proper education is extremely crucial as it will dramatically reduce the number of deaths and reduce the challenge on the healthcare system. Alcohol-related deaths have hit a record high during this pandemic, and long post-lockdown liquor lines are some extremely worrisome issues regarding which people need to be educated. As a top priority, people need to be given confidence in their life as the security about the future for them to stop behaving recklessly or fall into depression and commit suicide. Leveraging best of different economic systems based on charity, barter, and money. Ancient Hindu economic treatise by Paramashiva, the primordial Hindu divinity, describe 3 kinds of economic systems and their principles. First, for things that do not perish by sharing, such as education and knowledge, Paramashiva recommends that no fee be charged. Second, for survival needs such as food and healthcare, barter and charity are recommended. Third, for all other infrastructure development works, services and commodities, gold and conventional currency-based transactions are allowed. These systems are still in practice in the modern day out, but grossly overlooked and not sufficiently studied with their close relation to mainstream economics. The World Health Organization and the GISAID provided early access to data regarding the virus. This is an example of an open knowledge based economic policy where critical data about the virus was not monetized. Similarly, South Korea helped the USA access mass and testing kits. And there was a hope that these would lead to a reciprocal arrangement in terms of vaccine, which is like a barter based model allowed in food and healthcare. Next is Hindu policies for food security. A highly effective concept for ensuring food security in ancient Hindu nations was that of food grain banks. These were prevalent until the 18th century. The elderly in villages would start food grain banks with a seed capital of grains collected by fundraising. If any person met with a crisis such as a crop failure, the food grain bank would lend him grains in exchange for an interest. The compound interest was prohibited in grain banks, which the debtor was expected to return with the principal grain amount during the next harvest. The bank would expand its reserves of food grains based on the interest earned and donations. At the time of severe crises such as famine, the entire village would be able to withdraw these grains. And if required, all such grains loans would be written off on humanitarian grounds. In Hindu temples, food is shared for free as a policy. This was the case in both ancient times and in modern times. For 27 years, every month of the Hindu ASMT community has served more than 3 million free organic meals in religious gatherings to everyone without discrimination and has served over 1 billion free meals in total. Such private and public efforts are crucial to ease the threats of starvation, which is estimated to hit a billion people worldwide. Next is monitor global health. The crisis requires governments to take aggressive, proactive measures to monitoring health. Smartphone applications have been used by the governments that are based on health code color systems that categorize individuals into three color groups based on their health status and travel history and then determine whether they need to be quarantined. You can see the supporting articles here. Though there were privacy-related concerns associated with these approaches, some of these measures, such as agile daily reporting systems for accounting of newly suspected, diagnosed, asymptomatic cases, number of deaths, and generating area-wide statistics, have played an important role in proactively responding to curb the spread of the disease and are being considered for implementation by various countries. The supporting articles are here. Next is traditional medicine. In Hinduism, nature and planet Earth are respected as living divine mother energies capable of providing us with all our survival needs, that is food, medicines, etc. Though traditional medicines such as TCM and Ayurveda are effective in addressing COVID-related issues. And a few years ago, a Nobel Prize was awarded for scientific work based on traditional medicines. The mainstream Western medicine has chosen to characterize Ayurveda as pseudo medicine and TCM as unscientific. Such demeaning of traditional medicine systems have led nations to consider taking defensive unilateral decisions to protect their interest. Outright rejection of traditional medicine is not wise, and such policies should be revisited, especially as these medicine systems are time tested and have kept people healthy for several generations. Kailas Union recommends governments worldwide provide solutions like Kailasa's Hindu medicinal care, which includes completely free of charge services such as Ayurveda, yoga, Siddha, Western medicines, and multi-layered quarantine for complementing their ongoing public health efforts. The supporting documentation here. Next, everyone should be provided access to traditional healthcare systems free from policies that are prejudicial and discriminatory towards these systems. The creation of food grain bank systems and other traditional economic systems, as described in this report, would help the most vulnerable people of the world. You can see the supporting documentation here. Now we have seen the detailed report, how all these that is presented are implemented in Kailasa's de facto spiritual centers and successfully implemented, and there is a zero case of COVID, and successfully these are not only they are protected from corona and related issues, but they are growing spiritually and both joy, bliss, and in all aspects of their life they are growing. So join these COVID care protection centers. Register now through the link below, https colon /kailasa.org/Kailasa care. Now let us see the, as Devi said, the spirituality helps in dealing with the mental stress. How the revival of these ecosystems, which are mainly temple sciences and the Kailasa's ecosystems are mainly temple based. So revival of these temple sciences and ecosystems. The Kailasa Department of Enlightened Civilization presenting this. Now, with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, let's understand this. Now, as you see across world, especially across India, the famous temples which are were running seamlessly for thousands and thousands of years are now shut down. For example, the Shirdi Sai Baba temple will remain closed for devotees till further orders, and the temple administration took the decision after the Maharashtra government on Sunday announced a weekend lockdown and night curfew in the state to control the spread of coronavirus. The famous Puri Jagannath temple to remain closed for public, keeping in view these in search of COVID-19 cases in Odisha and also in Puri, the authorities of the temple of Lord Jagannath in the pilgrim town on Sunday. The famous temple is closed for devotees since May 5th as a statewide lockdown was imposed by the Odisha government. Not only that, the all religious places closed for public in Bhubaneswar as the city records the highest daily COVID surge, with the Odisha capital Bhubaneswar registering the highest ever single day spike of 581 new COVID-19 cases. The local municipal authorities declared the closure of all religious places like temples, mosques, gurudwaras, and churches for devotees till further orders. In Uttar Pradesh, the famous Madura temple, the temples ban entry of devotees amidst this COVID-19 surge. Two major temples of Sapta Devalaya, the cluster of 7 temples in Vrindavan, banned the entry of devotees in view of the rising in COVID-19 cases. Gujarat Somnath temple closed for darshan amidst the COVID-19 surge. In view of a surge in the COVID-19 infections, the Somnath Temple Trust has announced that the temple will remain shut for devotees from April 11th till for an indefinite period. On the other hand, in South India, Tamil Nadu, Chola era temple murtis beheaded. The murtis of a Chola temple have been vandalized in Pudukkottai, Tamil Nadu. A devotee who went to the temple was shocked to find all the murtis in the temple in a beheaded state. He lodged a complaint with the local police later. The Kailasanath temple in village in Pudukottai is said to belong to the era of Kulutunga Chola II. With Shiva as the presiding deity, the temple houses other deities such as Ganesha, Parvati, Murugan, Krishna, and Nandi. All of these murtis were discovered in a beheaded state 2 days ago. Now let us understand how, in the times when COVID-19 is rampant and the ancient temples are in a lockdown because of the risk of the widespread corona disease, the devotees of these temples were visiting and having darshan of their gods and goddesses for thousands of years. Yet, all these ancient sacred sentiments have come to a harming halt after the lockdowns have taken place. The religious fervor of the devotees is being lost due to the pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the e-Kailasa ecosystem and bringing all the ancient traditions of the online platforms on Kailasa TV, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, let us understand with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, first, the basic science of why the temple based ecosystems, why we worship, why deity worship. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that please understand deities are not mere idols, they are embodiment of ideals. We do not worship the idols, we worship the ideals presented through the idols. When the divine is present in before him in a form that he can see, touch, and relate to, the transmutation becomes an easy and joyful process. Second, deities in a real kshetra. A kshetra is a high frequency vibrational energy are always carved in the form of ancient masters and enlightened beings. Even though no longer in the body, they can be invoked through the name or form they used while in the physical plane. When we pray to the deity or chant its name, the corresponding divine vibration is automatically awakened and becomes available on the energy plane to guide and bless us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says we mastered the science of bringing the divine to the deities and expressing the divine through the deities. The whole science has been mastered in the Vedic tradition. The revival of temples will be the revival of the world, peace and world bliss. The revival of temples will be the revival of world peace and world bliss. Revival of temple culture